number 7. So I'm starting off with some heavyweight Copic quality cardstock, just a scrap that I had, and the Paper Smooches Royal Icons Wise Dies. So I got them, all the images I wanted to use for this card, I got them all the dies lined up onto my Big Shot and die cut everything all at once. Although now looking back on this, I could have stamped the images and then die cut them because all these dies are open, so it would have been even easier than going through all the hassle of lining up the images onto the die cuts. But old habits die hard, so either way works, but yeah, it would be easier to just stamp the images and then you can line up the dies and see exactly where you're die cutting and then die cut. But anyway, I'm just doing things backwards today. So yeah, die cut everything from heavyweight Copic quality cardstock and then inking up the matching stamps with Memento Tuxedo Black ink and stamping them onto their matching little die cuts. So yeah, I chose the Knight in Shining Armor and the little princess, the castle, and then the little heart bubble from the matching Paper Smooches Royal Cuteness set, which is adorable. I've been dying to use this since I got it. And then for the little heart bubble, I inked that one up with MFT's Razzleberry ink and stamped that onto its little die cut. So then once I've got everything stamped, I'm going to color in all the images with my Copic markers. So as always, I'm starting with the skin and just did my lightest, which was my E50, and then adding my E21 to the darker areas, and then finally the E13 in the very darkest areas, like closest to the lines. And then I blend that out with the E21 again, just to soften it a bit, and then finally blend everything together with my lightest, which was my E50. So yeah, and super simple. These images are so easy to color too. Just, oh, I love them. They're so adorable. So I added R20 for their cheeks and then quickly blended that with the E50 again just to soften it. And then for his hair, it was just E25 and 27, no blending. It's just a small area and there was no need to, so just got that down. And then for her hair, I wanted to do a really, really pale, like almost white blonde. So I just took Y00 and lightly put that in different areas, and then finally went in with Y02, just a bit of a darker yellow, just to give it more of a hint of blonde, I guess. For me, this is really hard to leave white space. I'm working on it. But yeah, something different anyway, so really simple. And then for her crown, just Y15 and Y17, no blending, just did it. I'm planning on covering it all anyway with glitter, so you'll see that in a bit. But for her dress, I wanted to do something super fun. I wasn't originally going to do this, but then I thought, why not? So I'm using RV 52 and 55, which is the perfect shade of pink, and flicking the color so that they blend into each other to almost create an ombre effect. Somebody just woke up from her nap. So all you do is just go back and forth. You can do it with completely different colors if you want. It just takes more work, but a good way to start is to do two colors that blend together easily. So you just go back and forth, flick in the lighter color, then add the darker color, and until you are happy with the way they're blended. So really fun little kind of technique, I guess. And yeah, once you kind of get it down, you can start experimenting, blending in two completely different colors like blue and green, you know, orange and whatever. Yeah, it's fun. So it's not something I do very often, but with an image like this, it was kind of perfect to play around with it. So once that was done, I went on to color the Knight in Shining Armor. So just using my cool grays for this and basically scribbling the color on because it just doesn't matter. It's all going to blend into each other. So just working my way from lighter to darker using the C3, C5, and then C7, and then working my way back to blend. And then once I was done kind of blending everything with the C5, I left a few areas and just grabbed my C1 to lighten it up just a little bit. So got that all down, and then for the little like tassel on his helmet, I used BG 53 and 57. So got those laid down. And then for when I go on to color the castle, I super sped up this. There was no point really showing any depth or detail to it because I just used all the same colors that I was using on the main characters and just quickly colored it in. The castle's going to go on the inside of the card, so I wasn't going to put in, you know, and it's a small image, so I'm not going to like make it all super fancy, blended, all that kind of stuff. So I just laid down the color and yeah, just used the lightest C3 and then added a teensy bit of C5 and that was it. or no, C1 and C3, sorry. So once I was done with that, I decided to add the glitter now since I'm not using stickles, and I'm just going to use my Wink of Stella pens, so those dry really fast. So I took my silver one to add to his armor, just to give it a little bit of bling without being totally overwhelming. So added that, and then for her crown I used my gold Wink of Stella pens. That's why I said it didn't matter if I blended it, because with the gold it's a heavier pigment, so it just kind of covers everything anyway. And then I took the clear and just lightly flicked up some of the glitter from the bottom so that she's got this nice little glittery dress, and then added a bit to his tassel and to the castle because I could. So got everything blinged up, and then I went on to the actual card, which all the colors were inspired by this pattern paper from Authentique. This is the Sweetness 6x6 pack. So I'm following a sketch from the Retro Sketches Challenge blog. Say that 3 times fast. So I'll link to that in my blog post. And actually the main card on their challenge is what totally inspired this card. So I decided to use one of MFT's Heart Dynamics dies and marked kind of where I wanted it, and then I always just mark with my finger. I just press them with my fingernail where I want to trim down paper and cardstock. And then I'm going to back that with a piece of chocolate brown cardstock with just the teensiest little bit of a border, not very much. Just pulling that from, again, the pattern paper had that like dark brown stripe. And then rather than adhere them together, I purposely didn't, and then shifted it a little bit before putting it through my die cut machine. You'll see why in a second. But decided how I wanted it, got the die in place, ran it through my Big Shot, and then once I lined everything up, it just gave the heart the teensiest little bit of almost like a shadow. Yeah. Someone's saying hello. So, use my Tombow Mono Multi to adhere the pattern paper to the cardstock. So got that in place, and then I decided to adhere that to the card with dimensionals, and I just chose a heavyweight white cardstock base, and then yeah, bunch of dimensionals to pop that up from the card. And then while I was at it, I decided to do the same thing to all of the little characters as well, and just pop them all up in dimensionals because, well, yeah, you know me, I like to go overboard. So I just thought it would give it a little extra something, and since I decided not to add any embellishments or anything, I just thought I might as well pop everything up on dimensionals. Yeah, everything's popped up and sparkly. So got it all, everything into place the way I wanted it. Added the little heart bubble on dimensionals, and then on the inside of the card, I was going to originally just add a strip of the same pattern paper, but then I had these 2 die cut hearts sitting here. I'm like, well, why not use them? I didn't want to throw them out. So yeah, just adhered those onto a corner of the inside of the card, and then adhered the castle as well. And then I grabbed a sentiment from that Royal Cuteness set and inked it up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink and stamped that into place, and that's all there was to it. So as always, there will be a link below the video to my blog post in which I'll put all the links to the supplies used, and thank you guys so much for watching my videos and subscribing and liking them, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!